A capacity crowd here in Boston, just like the old days, and two hopeful teams of making a playoff run down the line clash tonight as the Washington Wizards take on the Boston Celtics.
Today versus his career. Now you can see the minutes, he's only down 5. Now the points, naturally, because he's shooting a poor percentage of 39. But the shot attempts are there, the rebounding, and also the assist. Now this is a very young Kobe and Shaq in total points. Now you can see right here, they are in the same position again as we stand here tonight. 23 points for Walker, 25 shot attempts. That's a ton, but he's working with the 11 boards. Also, you can see with Pierce, the 23 attempts and the 8 rebounds for a small forward is outstanding. Now, the unique thing is, between them, they attempt out of Arkansas at 6'7". He's given them 12 points a game. He's also shooting 57% from the floor and over 50% in threes. A terrific addition, Dick, and this is it.
Leitner playing center, and Tyrone Nesby at 6'6" at forward, with Michael Jordan, Rip Hamilton, and Chris Whitney at guard, Walker, Pierce, Tony Battie, Joe Johnson, and of course Anderson in the backcourt, the 31-year-old point guard for the Celtics, as we send it over to Cheryl Miller.
Thanks to Jordan versus Pierce, and he said even if Paul scores 40 points and he only scores 10, as long as the Wizards win this game, he can live with it. But Michael did quickly add, but I know that's not going to happen. And Paul Pierce simply said that he doesn't care what happens between him and Jordan as long as the Celtics walk away with the W. And Dick and Hubie, you have to believe that this game between these two players will become extremely competitive, guys.
Well, they say the proper things before the game, and then let's see what happens after. Michael Jordan, coming off of a 19-point effort in the Sunday loss against the Detroit Pistons, and Kenny Anderson gets the game underway for the Celtics.
Jimmy O'Brien very happy with Kenny Anderson, says he's healthy, toe not bothering him, and he's off to a great start.
Well, here is Jordan passing out to Richard Hamilton, who misses the 3, and the rebound by Tony Battie.
When you go small, like Washington is attempting to do tonight, look for a lack of offensive rebounding, and also the fact you got to keep one of the best offensive rebounding teams off the glass.
Anderson penetrates but cannot convert. The officials tonight, Ronnie Nunn, Nolan Fine, and Tony Brothers. Here is Michael Jordan hitting his first shot of the game.
Tonight, what you're looking for, you're hoping that Michael is going to get stronger in the leg department, that the tendonitis is going to let up as the season moves on, so that the range will improve, the distance, and then also the high percentage. Now tonight, Michael is guarding Joe Johnson. Joe Johnson is guarding Michael.
And the foul was on Christian Leitner. Here is Pierce with a step back and hitting the basket over Hamilton. So Pierce last year had 40 or more points on 8 occasions for the Celtics.
Anytime that he is played by a 2-guard like Hamilton, he's going to take him right into the post.
Looking inside for Jordan, and Joe Johnson trying to deny, and coming down with it are the Celtics as Nesby misses his first shot of the game. Nesby started 22 for the Clippers last year. Anton Walker getting inside. Battie with the offensive rebound, and finally Walker converts.
This is what we told you at the beginning. Boston's strong suit, offensive rebounding, and three-point shooting. They're first in makes and in attempts, but you must keep them off the defensive glass.
Celtics improved in the early going in the rebounding department, which was an Achilles heel for them a year ago.
They've got to stop launching all of these long jump shots with 16 seconds on the clock.
Johnson launches a long shot with 19 seconds on the clock that occasion, and the feed going inside, tipped out of bounds by the team.
Anytime that Michael is in a post-up situation and he's being fronted, you must have patience to look for the lob pass instead of forcing up a long jump shot. You can get a long jump shot with 3 or 4 seconds on the clock.
The Wizards are 1-2 on the road. Hamilton on the double team. Anderson was guarding Leitner, who was outside, and Chris Whitney misses the 3. It'll go out of bounds, and the Celtics will get it back.
Whenever you attempt long three-point shots, when you miss, the ball rebounds long. So that takes away any chance of offensive rebounding. Offensive rebounding gets you a high percentage shot, and it also gets you fouled and foul shot attempts.
The Wizards missed their first 3 from beyond the arc. And we'll have a Washington foul, and this will be on Nesby. So Tyrone Nesby, who came over from the Clippers last year right as the season started, was in the starting lineup 22 times. 2.5 minutes elapsed. The Celtics off to the 6-2 lead. Kenny Anderson is open for the two-point attempt. Nesby the rebound.
I think for Washington, you'd like to see them as the season gets going, that they start to open up with the fast break and get some transition baskets.
Good pass from Whitney to Hamilton, and he is fouled. So Chris Whitney doing what a point guard should do. And the Celtics committing their first foul of the game. And it's on Antoine Walker.
Now, Hamilton is off to a great start. We know last year that he averaged 18 points. He doubled his production off of his rookie year. This year he's at 17 plus. You know that he's going to shoot a high percentage. He's a type of a player that is a slasher and also has good three-point range. So you know he will get his shot attempts. The big thing is he's got to create for other people.
In his third year out of the University of Connecticut, so no stranger to the New England area, is Rip Hamilton. Celtics leading by 2. Celtics losing in Milwaukee in their last outing on Saturday, 105-99. And there is Joe Johnson off the mark, attempting a three. So we've had a flurry of three-point attempts in the early moments.
And you really don't like to see that because it sets a bad thing for the game.
Jordan is fouled, and Johnson is right on his hand. So Joe Johnson committing the personal foul, and you knew it had to be one because Jordan didn't even come close to hitting the rim on that jumper.
Well, from our angle, it looked like he caught him on the hand on the release. But we also know that there are some buildings who think that there have been a few phantom calls. You can see right there, he caught him right on the wrist.
So Michael Jordan, in his first appearance ever back in 1985, scored 36 points. And in his second debut, which was here at the Fleet Center after coming back from his retirement, had 26 points in 27 minutes. But we'll all remember, as you look at the glittering achievements he's had, the 63-point playoff effort against the Celtics. We were here for that one back in 1986.
You like to see Michael get to the line a little bit more. He's only getting there 6 times a game. For his career, it would be 8 to 9 at playoff time, always at 10 plus or more.
Double team on Pierce, and Anderson making the pass to the wing, and good rotation by the Wizards defensively. And here is Hamilton, and let's see if he dribbled it off his foot.
Good call. Good call. He was definitely muscled. Kenny Anderson came in and caught him with a forearm.
So that's the first on Anderson.
Yeah, just keep an eye on this. Now watch as he comes in here. See, he bumps him right there, which forces the ball. As the ball goes down, it goes off of Hamilton's foot. No doubt about it.
Jordan trying to work Johnson in down low, and we'll have a defensive 3-second violation and a technical on the Boston Celtics.
Now this is something which can happen a lot in a game that Jordan plays, because as you can see, there's a limited amount of movement. You can run and double Michael, so everyone on the offside is trying to get into the area to help. Well, now you must stay out of that painted area.
I got you.
And we've seen a good deal of those calls because the official now has to see who's in the lane longer and whether he's within arm's length of defending his man.
That's right. And what happened that time, there was no one there. You can see Pierce is running in and out of the lane.
Jordan goes around Johnson, changes hands, and the ball knocked away, and Leitner comes up with a loose ball. Nesby on the fake pass, then leaves it out. And Jordan was open that time, and Leitner again keeps it going for the Wizards with a new clock and under 8 minutes to go in the first. Jordan, look to Leitner.
Nice pass.
Michael Jordan playing the high post with a no-look pass to Christian Leitner, and the Wizards lead by 1. 7 straight points run off by the Washington Wizards, and Pierce on the turnaround gets his second basket.
He's murder on the catch and shoot. He shoots such a high percentage. He's always over 50% every year that he's been in the league, and he just has that knack. He knows how to read that defender.
And another foul called against the Celtics, and that'll be Tony Batiste.
Now keep an eye as this ball goes into Michael right here. You're going to see Christian come right down the lane. Now this is all you have to do when Michael catches the ball is just move. Anytime you move, Michael will always give it up if you have a half a step on your man.
Here is Leitner, and Batiste giving him the outside shot. Leitner taking it and making it. So Christian Leitner with his second field goal, starting at the center position tonight, and the Wizards now by 3. Anderson gets it inside to Walker, the turnaround, and the foul as Leitner coming over to help Hamilton on the play. And the foul is against Nesby, his second.
The Boston Celtics naturally have two great scorers, Pierce and Walker. Now they're not only great perimeter shooters, they are outstanding post-up players. The difference between the two, Walker might settle for the fadeaway jump shot, where Pierce will attack the glass and get fouled. And you can see that in their foul shot attempts up until now. Pierce is getting to the line 8 times a game. Walker only 4. Somewhat the same for a year ago for the season 2001.
Nesby goes to the bench. He made the start tonight, and Bobby Simmons, formerly with the Seattle Sonics. Walker makes one free throw, but the ball comes out to his hand. So Bobby Simmons replaces Nesby. Here's Pierce for 3, and he's got it. 3-point basket in the first of the game.
The young man averages 6 attempts a game. He shoots over 50%, and you saw how effortless that was, Dick. He really has great range.
Celtics regain the lead by 1. Leitner hitting the jumper, shooting over Tony Batiste. Batiste is allowing Leitner to take the outside shot.
Well, that's because he's only shooting 28% coming into this game. But we're dealing with a guy who has averaged 15 points a game over a 9-year career. He is a major threat, but he's got to get his game together.
Here is Johnson, the rookie from Arkansas, and that drops through after taking a high bounce on the rim. So the Celtics up by 1.
I like the tempo of the game right now. Once we've gotten away from all of the perimeter shooting, we're seeing some things 15 feet and down.
Nearly halfway through this opening period, and now Batiste playing Leitner much closer on the outside into the corner. And the shot missed by Richard Hamilton. Here come the Celtics with a 1-point lead, looking to take a 3-2 record. And for these teams, all these games important because they're long shots to make the playoffs. Simmons got a piece of it. Anderson will fire it with 5 on the shot clock. And the rebound by Jordan. No Celtic underneath.
At the defensive end, Washington very quick on their double teams. Now remember, they have a small team out there right now, but they're covering the floor well. Can they keep it up for 48 minutes?
Heidi White normally starts at center, not doing it. And Johnson gets a piece of that turnaround shot by Jordan. And now Joe Johnson on the 2-and-1 break has it knocked away by Simmons. So Johnson made a good play at one end, but the Celtics were unable to convert the 2-on-1 break. But they'll take a 1-point lead into this timeout with 5:19 to go in the first.
Walton has come out to meet Jordan. Jordan trying to use his quickness, and it works. Looks like lately the Bulls have been going to Jordan like they did at the start of the last game. Here he is, the move and the basket. Long range, Jordan hits it. 56 for Jordan with 8 on the clock. Jordan ties the game. 63 points, and you're looking at an all-time record.
And you know, Hubie, as you look at the numbers of the game, I think the Celtics gained respect for him in that game. They were heavily favored over the Bulls. This was game 2 of the best of 3 at the time, and Boston had lost only 1 home game all year.
It was a magnificent performance in one of the toughest buildings to put up 30, never mind 63. And you could see he shot over 50%. And the fact that he got off 41 shots against that incredible defense as well as that great front line is also an accomplishment.
Larry Bird, by the way, scored 36 as a footnote in that game. Milt Palacio has come in, the backup point guard, number 9. And the shot put up by Mark Blount, who's also in the game. Blount has been very impressive in the early going. Johnson missing a 2-point attempt. Jordan rebound.
You can see Michael's back in there now. You know, as a forward, he's doing his job. He's getting 6 defensive boards a game, and you're always looking for that for your small forwards, a minimum of 6.
Jordan doing it a lot with his head as much as his physical ability, not the same at age 38. And this time, the traveling violation called against Christian Laettner. But this is a different Michael Jordan, and everyone should realize it. You can't turn back the clock. It's as simple as that.
Well, we all realize that 38 years of age, the tendonitis in the knee. He does not have that cutting move into the lane and then the powerful jump to get up over the top of traffic.
Whitney rebounds Pierce's miss. And Jordan is fouled as Eric Strickland, who was just picked up recently by the Celtics, on the personal.
Now that's what we said in the stand-up. They run at him quick now. They run at him quick and double team him. And you're going to see this. Now just watch to the right of the screen. As soon as Michael makes this catch and he sizes things up, they're going to run right at him and force him to pass the basketball. Now as soon as he makes his move, they're coming. They'll force the rotation. Now, the big thing with Washington they've got to learn is the first pass, the guy is not going to be open against the good teams. It's the second pass out of the trap where something good happens. And if you look back at this first quarter, every time they make the second pass, they're getting a wide open 15 to 18-foot shot.
Popeye Jones into the game for the Washington Wizards. He's their leading rebounder, averaging 9 a game. So they're going with a little more strength inside as the Wizards lead by 1. Nearly 4 minutes to go in the first. So it's Palacio, Eric Strickland, along with Pierce, Walker, and Blount. And the shot way off the mark taken by Palacio.
You always have to get to your point guard, get into his head. When you make the calls, you have to understand who our prime-time guys are on the floor.
Hamilton turns it over to Pierce, and he goes to Strickland, blocked by Simmons.
Great block.
Simmons coming out of nowhere to get a piece of that ball, and the Wizards with a 1-point lead in the ball. Jordan tries to flip it to Popeye Jones, and the Celtics coming back. 2-on-2, and it's layup by Strickland is good and a foul. Eric Strickland with the basket and the foul as well, and a chance for the 3-point conversion.
Now, this is just a strong move by a guy who has scored a lot of points. While he was at Dallas, his last year there, he averaged right at 13 points, shot a good percentage. He's known as a tough defender. He was then moved to New York to Vancouver. And right now, this is an excellent addition at that 2-guard position for Boston.
Michael Jordan sits down for the first time. He has scored 6 points in the game and replaced by Courtney Alexander. We have a lot of former Dallas Mavericks on both teams playing tonight.
Major thing right now, this group out on the floor, you do not have to double team anybody in the post area. The big thing is you need a lot of teamwork.
Hamilton off the glass and a good play by Popeye Jones. Jordan was 1 for 3 from the field, 4 for 4 from the line, and 3 rebounds. Only played 22 minutes in the second game of back-to-back on Sunday for the Wizards. They're tied at 17. Walker double team, Palacio open. And this is the open shot. That's what they want him to do.
No, and Boston realizes that they are getting high percentage shots and they are getting a number of offensive rebounds. So things are going the way they would like. Their big thing right now is that they've got to do a better job at the defensive end with the Washington cutting to the basket.
1. All right, we're tied at 17-17. Knicks struggling in the early going of the
Well,
season.
I think it's difficult for them. They're trying to play without the athleticism of Camby at the center position. Their other 2 backups, Spencer and Knight, are not what you would refer to as top quality guys. when you play with a center like that who cannot command any type of a double team, then you know that when they come with their second unit, there are no double team guys in the second unit, so the Knicks are having trouble. And you say, well, why is that? They stay and hug the three-point shooters. Why leave a three-point shooter when you can play man-to-man down in the post?
Courtney Alexander inbounds to Hamilton with 10 on the shot clock. 2:42 remaining in the first quarter. Hamilton from the corner. So Hamilton now with 6 points. So Leitner, Jordan, and Hamilton all with 6, and the Washington Wizards by 2. Here's looking for Walker. Walker has 3 points so far, giving it up, and here is Palacio for 3. Air ball by Palacio after a tough pass by Antoine Walker into the corner.
Yeah, Palacios had 2 wide open shots and has not come close on either one.
Popeye Jones, defended by Blount down low. The one-hander, front rim, Pierce cleared.
Well, you can see with this group of Washington guys out on the floor, you're not going to see any double teams down inside.
Nice. Pierce with a great feed to Mark Blount. So Paul Pierce, they have 10 of the Celtics 19 points, so they're about what they do, but a great feed.
Well, you always love it when great players get double and triple teamed. He was triple teamed that time and was able to create a passing lane.
So now 1:40 remaining in the first quarter. It's been a tight game. Alexander, now Hamilton pulls up with it, and Walker the rebound. Celtics have an opportunity to run. Whitney back. Oh, great goal. Taken away by Whitney. Chris Whitney on the steal.
4 on 2.
He's got to get away. A lot of magic to his game. And Hamilton, this is a wide open short jumper.
Well, you can't do that. So you can't settle for a jump shot in a 4 on 2. You've got to penalize the defense and get the layup.
Hamilton 2 for 7 from the field. There's Walker being double teamed. And Walker steps back. And this is a 2-point attempt. And Popeye Jones wrestles the ball away from Mark Blount. So under a minute remaining in the first quarter. The Wizards and the Celtics tied at 19. Blount denying Jones. And now the foul called against Popeye Jones on the hold.
We definitely have a rugby game going on here in front of our eyes. Yeah, because there aren't any points being scored. We know that. But there is a lot of crashing of bodies. We have 10 young players out on the floor. They're playing with a lot of energy. They're hustling defensively, and they're committing many cardinal sins of basketball.
Oh, it's early.
In turning the ball over and in shot selection.
Kenny Anderson and Joe Johnson checking back in the game for the Celtics. 13 on the shot clock. Nearly a half a minute remaining in the first. Simmons doing a good job against Antoine Walker.
Yes, he is.
Double team.
Yes, he is.
Here's Pierce for 3, and he's got it. So Pierce hitting his second 3-point basket.
Anytime that he comes off a screen and roll and Pierce is involved, you cannot go under. You've got to come over the top to take away the threat of that 3-point shot. Either that or the defender on the screen has got to step up. You cannot give him a clear look. He's 4 for 5 now in this game.
And Hamilton, who has struggled, only 2 for 8 misses. Final seconds, and that will not count as the shot goes off the rim. But the 3-point basket by Paul Pierce, his second of the game, giving him 10 points, giving the Celtics their 3-point margin after 1. Celtics 22, the Wizards 19. Jordan has 6 after 1 here in Boston. Here at the Fleet Center. Paul Pierce, what about him in the first quarter?
Now, I'd like to show you Pierce right here with the ball. You can see the screen by Walker. Look how far back the man is that they are going to switch. So as Pierce comes over the top, he eyeballs that and sees the distance is too far. Now, just watch. See, they're going to switch that. You've got to be up playing the screener so that you can just step out and switch on him and force him to put the ball on the floor.
Pierce, the leading scorer with 10. No one else has more than 3 for the Celtics. As you look at the first quarter recap, both teams shooting under 40% from the field.
Now, both teams are poor shooting teams to begin with. They're right at that 40 to 41 area.
Michael Jordan played 8 minutes in the first quarter. Tyronn Lue into the game for the first time. You remember him from the finals against Allen Iverson. The good, solid job he did defensively against him in the NBA Finals with the Lakers. So he's got a championship ring. Now playing for the Wizards. Popeye Jones in there as well. Courtney Alexander. And here is the Pierce leaving Anderson open. He misses the shot. Joe Johnson with the offensive rebound. He can't convert, but Blunt comes in too. Celtics had chances.
Well, we said at the top, one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the league. And you can see they're causing problems here.
Simmons into the game as well for the Wizards. He played a fine defensive first quarter against Antoine Walker. Here is Jordan working against Johnson, the rookie, and fouled as he drives to the hoop.
This is the part of MJ's game which definitely is a minus in comparison to before the retirement, and that is the explosion off the dribble. See, in the old days, once he gets a half a shoulder ahead of you, he could get up higher and attack the rim and potentially get the possible three-point play, the dunk and the foul.
Now Blanc committing the foul, and now going over to Ronnie Nunn. Jordan has some words, as does Doug Collins.
Well, you see, they want a two-shot foul, and Michael thought that he was definitely fouled, and you can see Doug pleading his case right now with Ronnie Nunn, and he was definitely fouled, in our opinion, on his way to the rim.
Teron Lue, guarded by Kenny Anderson. Pierce defending against Courtney Alexander, who hit the jump shot at the shot clock buzzer. First basket tonight for Alexander in his second year from Fresno State.
Now this guy can put up some points. Last year, in the last month of the season, he scored over 27 times. He led the nation in scoring at Fresno State. So you know he's got talent. The big thing is he's got to get his game together with how they play professional basketball night in and night out. Because if he and Christian Laettner will step up, and then when Haywood, Kwame Brown, and Eaton Thomas come back, you're talking about 5 guys that can really help this club scoring-wise.
Courtney Alexander was the rookie of the month in April, averaging over 22 a game after sitting behind Michael Finley in Dallas. Here's the dish off to Johnson, missing the three-point attempt, and Anderson does a good job getting it away from Jordan, and the layup. Blunt again with a chance inside, cannot score.
Well, we're seeing some great work, Dick. I mean, it isn't like the Celtics aren't working. They're working hard. They're getting the opportunities. The ball just will not go down.
Well, Anderson against Michael Jordan all over. I mean, Anderson having a very solid defensive start. From the corner, Simmons misses. Up by Jones on the tip, but he steps on the line out of bounds, turning it over to Boston.
Popeye Jones, you love his intelligence, you love his work ethic. He's finally healthy after a few years where he was injured. When he was down in Dallas for 2 years, 11 points and 10.5 rebounds a game, 2 years, back to back.
You mentioned a lot of Dallas players, of course, the big 8-player deal that Michael Jordan engineered with the Mavericks, bringing Laettner, among others, to Washington. Here is Lue stopping Anderson. Pierce with a fake on Alexander, and the foul before the shot.
Washington foul is number 4,
Courtney Alexander with his first personal foul. Tony Batiste, who started at center for the Celtics, has replaced Blanc at that position.
Pierce is such a tough cover, Dick, because of the range, the high percentage three-point shoot, and then he handles the ball so well. Plus, he can hurt you right here with his back to the basket.
Double team, Anderson open.
Anderson and Palacio have had so many open shots in this game, they're going to catch pneumonia by halftime, okay? Because there's no one around them guarding them.
Their combined 1 of 9 from the field is Michael Jordan hitting his second field goal. Most of his points have come from the line. He has 8 now, nearly 3 minutes gone by in the second.
I just looked at the scoreboard, and I see the Wizards are winning by 1. I would think that Boston's ahead by about 25. I mean, they're getting all kinds of shots, offensive. Yeah, offensive, rebounds, all this guy, but nothing's happening. No points.
Antoine Walker now with 5 in the game. And the Celtics leading by only 1. Here is Jordan
way off,
trying to get a rhythm, way off the mark, as you're right, and Celtics coming back. Crowd murmuring after Jordan's miss. Anderson tries a wild pass to Johnson and throws it away, and we'll have a timeout.
Michael Jordan now 0 for 7 from three-point range. That's why we bring up that tendonitis in the knee. No high percentage from the foul line out.
Washington Wizards, Michael Jordan in the 5th game back And Jordan thus far is the leading scorer for the Wizards, but that's only part of the story. He has scored 8 points. He is 2 for 5 from the field. Now he is 2 for 4 on jump shots. He's missed the 1 layup, perfect from the line, and 3 off the glass.
What I like about his game is that he's playing with 4 guys that you can lead to double team him. But he is picking out the right people to hit with the pass. He's working hard at the defensive end with the 3 rebounds already.
Tyronn Lue off the screen getting the basket. And of course, if you say, well, gee, what about his image and all that? Michael Jordan, I was in there talking to him before the game. He wants to play, and he enjoys playing. End of story. This is all it's about, as he wants to see the Wizards win and do better. There's the double team on Walker, and leaving the shot open outside and missing that time is Johnson.
Walker and Pierce have done an excellent job all night coming out of that double team and hitting the 3 guys. I mean, they're wide open. I mean, this comes down to, will the Celtics make the shots? The shots are there.
And you mentioned Johnson is a possible 3rd guy. He's 1 for 7 so far from the field, but he has to worry about Michael Jordan on the defensive end as well. The tee. Here's Pierce coming back, and Pierce loses it out of bounds. So Tyronn Lue with good hustle against.
That was a nice defensive move by Tyronn, because he not only picked the spot out, but he forced a quick stop dribble where you lost control, forced it into a turnover.
That's a good pickup by the Wizards, by the way, getting an up-and-coming player who plays for a championship team. Jordan is held by Kenny Anderson, who comes out of the game having picked up his 2nd personal foul. Milt Palacio replaces him. And Paul Pierce, who leads the Celtics with 10 points, leaving the game as well, replaced by Antoine Walker.
So you made a good point about Tyronn Lue, and that is he is an experienced scorer. But over a 3-year period, he only played in 66 games in L.A.
And hitting the floor is Palacio, and they're going to call the offensive foul against Courtney Alexander, so he has 2.
I like the defensive effort that we're seeing at both ends of the floor. Both teams have improved their defense greatly over a season ago. You are not getting easy looks, and they are trapping and rotating quickly.
Walker from Palacio, basket counts and a foul. So Antoine Walker backing his way almost out of bounds. Had the presence of mind to get the pass, put it up, and get fouled as well.
Now, just keep an eye on Antoine down inside. You see, he already shed Simmons with a forearm. Simmons was very upset, said something to the referee. You see it right there. You see, he shed his man with that forearm. Well, that's an experienced guy who's down inside, plays with his forearms up. You play with your forearms up, you can bump a lot of people out of there.
Bobby Simmons going out of the game, as is Popeye Jones, as Walker makes the 3-point play. Christian Laettner and Rip Hamilton come in, so we have had already 12 lead changes, and we're not even halfway through the 2nd quarter with the Celtics leading by 2. Tyronn Lue penetrating, getting it out to Jordan. Jordan guarded by Johnson, and that doesn't fall as the tee quickly gets it out to Palacio. Wizards get back defensively. No easy baskets so far in this game, very few. Palacio gives it up to Johnson. Here's a 3, and he's got it. So Joe Johnson, who had 23 points against the Milwaukee Bucks to raise a lot of eyebrows, and he had to defend Ray Allen to boot, gives the Celtics a 5-point lead.
Well, see, he's over 50% 3-point shooter. That's where he surprised everybody, 6 for 12 before that shot.
Nesby nearly lost it. Hamilton picked it up and hit. So Rip Hamilton just coming back into the lineup now has 8 points, ties Jordan for the Wizards scoring lead. Celtics by 3. Here is Eric Strickland, and he is fouled. Strickland had Hamilton defending him.
Washington foul is
We'd like to show you the double teaming. See, here's your double team right here on Walker. Now watch as Walker comes out of there with the first pass over to Johnson on the second pass, and watch how it opens up. See, there's your rotation. but you cannot double team and leave the opposite corner wide open. But it takes an unselfish team. Now, all night, the Celtics have been making the passes. That's the first one that they've really put down wide open.
Hamilton's second foul. Eric Strickland made the first free throw. And he's got them both, and a 5-point Boston lead. Interesting that Doug Collins coaching this team, and he told us he doesn't agonize like he used to when he was in Chicago and Detroit. Still, he puts his heart and soul into it, but he seems a little mellower from what we remember. Because he knows
we'll see what happens by the time we get to All-Star game.
I was going to say. Here's Jordan using a little glass. Michael Jordan now with 10 points. Down 3 for 7 shooting.
Doug is a fierce competitor, and he works very hard at his craft. And once he gets his 3 inside guys back, this team will be better, and then they will be expected to win a lot more. Plus, remember, this is their 4th road game in 5 nights. They're going to be home for a 2-week stretch here.
5 straight home games coming up for the Wizards, as Johnson now with 7 points finding his shooting eye. Celtics by 5. Tyronn Lue at the point. Jordan against Johnson. Tipped by Leitner. Christian Leitner with a tip-in.
Christian Leitner's playing a lot with a lively bounce tonight. 4 for 4 from the field. He's really doing a nice job.
And Palacio hitting. All of a sudden, no one can miss. Boy, how things change here.
The main thing is, though, is you keep going back to what is working, and you know that your guys are not deliberately missing. What you're hoping for is that they'll finally hit a rhythm, and they're in it.
And they're both in it, really, right now. Here is Leitner firing over Batiste. And the rebound taken down by Antoine Walker. Nearly 4.5 to play in the first half. Walker put against Nesby. Wild shot by him. And good hustle by Batiste. And he calls the timeout before he is tied up. 4.5 minutes remaining in the first half here before a capacity crowd at the Fleet Center. Jim O'Brien Celtics lead the Wizards by 5.
Welcome back to the Fleet Center. On October 30th, the Boston Celtics began an online auction of items focusing on their winning history. Some of the items up for bid were a rare basketball signed by Bob Cousy, Tommy Heinsohn, Bill Russell, an autographed Larry Bird game jersey, and even a game of horse against Paul Pierce. Now, the auction ends November 20th, and all proceeds, Dick, will be donated to the New York Police, Fire, Widows, and Children's Fund.
All right, Cheryl, what a great tradition this franchise has had over the years. I mean, going back to the early days, Bill Russell and so forth.
Well, you know, all you have to do is look up to the rafters here.
Which we just did.
Yes, we did. And you see the number of championships and then all of the retired jerseys, because the majority of the retired jerseys are all in the Basketball Hall of Fame. And there you have one of them right there, Tommy Heinsohn completing his 20th year with Mike Gorman of doing the Boston Celtic games. And how about this stat? Red Auerbach placed 25 ex-players as head coaches in the NBA. Not bad for that old rascal.
84-year-old regaining the title as president of the Boston Celtics, Arnold Red Auerbach.
Nice to see him back.
Yes, and he looks great. He looks terrific. And the native of Washington. Jordan changes hands, and Michael Jordan with a little vintage play from the past now has 12 points to bring the Wizards to within 3. He's withering that Celtic defense with that play. Johnson going down low to Antoine Walker, muscles his way in and tips it in himself. Walker gets credit.
Now that is their 10th offensive rebound in this half. Now remember, if you get 13 or 14 in a game in the NBA, that's a lot. And right now, they already have 10. Now, you can play a small lineup against them, but you're putting pressure on your 2 forwards who are undersized to block out guys who are much taller and much stronger in the upper body.
And there's the rebounding story of the Boston Celtics, much better than they were a year ago.
Now, they've improved in all areas, Dick, no doubt about it. Joe Johnson gives them another athlete. He's playing like a guy who's been in the league a couple of years. He's got great athletic talent. Picking up Strickland was good. And now all of a sudden their 3 centers are all healthy. That hasn't happened in a long time.
And there's Rick Hamilton with the jump shot. So Hamilton now has 10. Paul Pierce checks back into the Celtic lineup. So to keep you apprised of what Michael Jordan has done, Walker and Pierce have 20 of the Celtics' 38 points. So they're over 50%, which is what they were last year. Palacio of the total, hitting the jumper, missing early. Palacio finding the range.
Very unselfish, Antoine Walker. When that double team comes, the ball is already out to the free guy. I'm very impressed with Pierce and Walker giving the ball up early here.
And a 5-point lead. Here is Tyronn Lue hitting a 3-point basket. So Tyronn Lue is fourth here from Nebraska, cutting the lead to 2. And that was a 3-point attempt there first.
No, that's young guy. We know he can score. He was a big-time scorer at Nebraska.
Now you know why Jim O'Brien thought it was great to get Eric Strickland the way he fought his way in to get the basket.
Well, they like his toughness. They like the fact that so what if he's undersized as a 2-guard? He's a tough guy who can defend.
Jordan fouled by Pearson, makes the basket. So Michael Jordan now with 14 points. 8 here in the second quarter now. 5 for 10 from the field as Pierce commits his first foul of the game and a chance to bring the Wizards to within 1.
Michael looks like he has found a rhythm.
Celtics lead by 2. Right now, let's take a look at TNT's Friday Nightman. The parquet floor looks familiar. The lanes look familiar, but of course the Fleet Center replacing Boston Garden. They moved the banners, as you mentioned. The Celtics last year were 12-22 when Rick Pitino stepped down, and 24-24 under Jim O'Brien. As you look at Michael Jordan's numbers right now, back to 50% from the field, still perfect from the line.
Well, he's not having any trouble getting the field goal attempts, and he has not really forced a shot. Now, that's his first miss on the foul line, and you like the fact that he's already been to the line for 5 attempts in his first half.
2:20 remaining in the first half. Dick Stockton, Hubie Brown, Cheryl Miller. Pierce driving and scoring. Good move by Paul Pierce, who has 12 and leads Boston.
That little screen has opened up for him 3 field goals getting into the lane. He comes off very hard and he reads the defense and he takes you right to the front of the ring.
Under 2 minutes to go. And Pierce guarding Michael Jordan for the first time tonight. It had been Joe Johnson's responsibility. And here's Eric Strickland coming down with it. Celtics leading by 4. Biggest lead for either team has been 5 by Boston. Palacio with Strickland. Walker, Pierce, and Petit up front. And here's Walker. Walker now with 12.
He's just too big, too strong for Nesby. He's got him by 3 inches and a lot of strength. Plus, you can see the move. All he did was turn and face. And once he turns and face down in there, you're not going to stop because you just go up over the top of you.
Nesby with Leitner, Lue, Jordan, and Courtney Alexander. Here is Christian Leitner off the front rim. Rebound by Petit. So the Celtics, who have their biggest lead of the game as we wind down to a minute to go in the first quarter. Boston led by 3 after 1. Walker going baseline against the double team, and one of the fine moves of the game we've had.
Well, he knows that he can shoot up over the top. And I like his game right now. He felt that after the score on the previous attempt down at the other end. He just knew that, hey, get the ball to me right now. He called for that ball because he knew that he could take his man.
And he has been unselfish as well, as the Celtics the Wizards call a timeout. The Celtics with a 6-0 spurt in the last minute and 20 seconds. Coming up on the AT&T halftime report, Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith, and Charles Barkley are in the studio to bring you all tonight's action. And a live interview with Magic Johnson from New York. 10-year anniversary with Magic Johnson announced he was HIV positive. And what a great 10 years it's been since for Magic.
See, Walker sees the double team coming, so he's going to go to the baseline. Great move because he caught Nesby playing him, trying to take away the lane. Christian Leitner was late coming across on the trap. Beautiful move by an offensive player.
For the Celtics, Antoine Walker has 14, Pierce 12. And for the Wizards, Michael Jordan leading with 14 points and Richard Hamilton with 10. 55 seconds remaining. Tyronn Lue will inbound, and for just a moment, the Celtics brought in Walter McCarty, but he goes out of the game. Leitner to Alexander over Strickland. Walker clearing the rebound. Celtics trying to add to their large lead of 8. Neither team has had double-figure advantage tonight. Pierce, Lue with the board. Wizards and the Celtics both 2-2 coming into this game. And there's Michael Jordan. From the corner, Jordan now with 16 points, 10 here in the second quarter.
So he's being picked up now sometimes by Strickland. Anytime Strickland picks him up, Michael realizes he's got at least 5 inches on Strickland. So all he has to do is come to a quick jump stop. That's why he's looking for that jumper at 15 to 12 to 18 feet.
Under 2 seconds between the shot clock and game clock remaining on the clock and a half. Palacio changes hands. Leitner, time running out, and Strickland prevents the Wizards from getting anything going on the offensive end. So after a slow starting game where neither team could find the rhythm, both teams finally were able to hit some shots. And Michael Jordan with 10 second quarter points, 50% from the field for the game at 6 for 12, and leading all scorers with 16 as the Celtics lead the Wizards 48-42. And let's send it out to Cheryl. Make some progress this year, and who knows, maybe challenge for the playoffs. Right now, let's send you to our Atlanta studios and Ernie Johnson.
And let's enjoy it.
The Celtics versus the Lakers. Magic versus Bird. The 80s were dominated by their rivalry. Players like Kevin McHale, Danny Ainge, and the Chief Robert Parrish battled the likes of Kareem, Byron Scott, and Michael Cooper. There wasn't a single NBA championship playoff in the decade without at least one of the two teams. The Lakers captured 5 titles to Boston's 3. Head-to-head, the Lakers had the advantage 2-1. Although they both were dominant teams, their styles couldn't have been more different. The West Coast Lakers were nicknamed Showtime for their fast break, over-the-top style. The East Coast Celtics were more workmanlike, a favorite of Boston's blue-collar fans. But the one thing they shared, they were both great basketball teams, led by great basketball minds, evidenced by the large number of alumni from those teams that are either in the coaching or executive ranks today, busy building rivalries of their own.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar versus his first NBA job.
Last month, Kareem became the most recent player from the Celtics-Lakers rivalry to join the professional coaching ranks when he accepted an assistant job with the Clippers. And instead of throwing elbows at former Celtic Dennis Johnson, he'll now be rubbing elbows with him behind the Clippers bench. Magic Johnson tried coaching the Lakers briefly in 1994, but realized ownership for him was a better fit. Larry Bird has said he might be interested in buying the Celtics, but in the meantime, he's been coaching the Indiana Pacers. Last season, he led them to their best record ever, and within 1 game of the NBA Finals, as he and the Pacers carve out a new rivalry with another East Coast nemesis, the New York Knicks. Michael Cooper went from being the Lakers' 6th man to Magic's assistant coach, and now he has his own team. It's not in the NBA, but it's close. He's the head coach of the WNBA's LA Sparks. Former Bird teammate Kevin McHale
has to be proud.
Returned to his home state of Minnesota in 1994 to become general manager of the Timberwolves. Oh, and by the way, the last NBA team in Minnesota before the Wolves, the Lakers. Others who have gotten the coaching bug, Byron Scott. He used to be Magic's wingman, but has taken Showtime on the road and is an assistant with one of the NBA's most exciting teams, the Sacramento Kings.
Get a dunk at the other end.
Kurt Rambis, a fan favorite in Los Angeles, was an assistant and even an interim head coach for the Lakers in 1999. He now serves as an advisor to the president, Jerry Buss. Mitch Kupchak, also a Laker alum, has been in the front office since 1986. Danny Ainge, who as recently as this year was the head coach of the Phoenix Suns,
Because I spent a lot of time watching the competition.
traded in his whistle for a microphone and is an announcer for Turner Broadcasting.
Parrish.
Robert Parrish, who as a player outlasted all of the great Celtics from the 80s, hasn't joined the coaching fraternity yet, but says that's his goal. And these days, with coaches and general managers changing teams almost as often as players, it's a good bet that the influence of the alumni from this great rivalry will continue to spread throughout the league.
By 6, you know, Hubie reminds me of
an excellent defensive job on his man. What must happen now is that the supporting cast must step up and play a more consistent type of game for him. They have 0 fast break points, and they're getting killed in the paint, 20-8. That must change if they're going to win here this evening.
Well, a few moments ago, Cheryl Miller caught up with the Wizards head coach Doug Collins.
And Dick Coach Collins said one of the concerns in the first half was Washington had to play with that smaller lineup, and Boston absolutely punished them on the board. So they have to do a better job rebounding. Also, the big adjustment for the second half at the defensive end will be shutting down Paul Pierce and Antonio Walker and forcing someone else to beat them as a scorer. Dick?
All right, Cheryl. Antoine Walker has 14, Paul Pierce 12. So despite it all, those two are getting the job done for the Celtics to lead by 6. Boston shooting 43% from the field. The Wizards better at 45. We're underway. Hamilton with the return to Nesby, who cannot convert on the lob pass.
Well, that was a design play for the lob. He was wide open. It was just a bad pass.
Anderson beating the double team on Walker, going back to Kenny Anderson for the hoop.
Right there. See, they're testing him. They're saying, your point guards have got to beat us. Well, now that basket gives the point guards 4 for 13. 4 for 13 in this game.
Only the second hoop for Kenny Anderson. Veteran who is off to a hot start this year. Whitney going inside. Gordon with a turnaround. So Michael Jordan now is 7 for 13 from the field, 18 in the game.
What I like about it, Dick, is, look, it sounds like you're cheering for the guy you are. I'm cheering for the guy. I hope he has a great night. But the big thing is he's not forcing anything.
Anderson hit the second of this quarter from the corner, and the Celtics leading by 8 points. How can you not cheer for the guy, the greatest player who's ever played the game at 38, coming back for his 3rd attempt in the NBA, plus a baseball career in the minor league? Here is Hamilton from Laettner, fall away, and he's got it.
I like the movement. Anytime that they swing the ball into the corners and they get the cutters have been open, and something good has been happening for Washington.
Washington down by 6, and they're going to get home for 5 games after this contest. And Laettner getting a piece of the tee shot. 7 on the shot clock. Tony Batiste. Nice. And Laettner gets more of it this time. And now the Wizards come up. So Laettner stuffing Batiste twice, really. Here's Jordan trying to feed Laettner, but the ball comes out in a 2-on-3. Wizards get back nicely defensively, but someone missed up an assignment, and Joe Johnson laid it in.
Well, that was just a beautiful maneuver with the basketball. Joe Johnson handles the ball extremely well. See, at the other end, Jordan was going to the basket. I think if he would have shot it, he would have been fouled. But he thought by that shovel pass. Anytime you shovel pass in traffic like that, the guy cutting, who was Laettner, didn't get a chance to catch the ball.
Pick and spot up from Whitney to Christian Laettner. And Laettner now has 10 in the game, so he has come out strong tonight playing the center position.
He's spirited. There's no doubt about it. He has the 10 points, and he's got the 4 rebounds. And they need him. They need him to play big every night because he's a very talented young man.
Pierce, double team, a double Pierce and Walker, and Johnson missing the 3 with the air ball.
Yeah, he's having a tough night tonight. That gives him 1 for 6 and 3.
And Laettner is fouled by Tony Batiste, who tried to get a piece of the ball. He did, but he got more of Christian Laettner. So Johnson with his second foul. And Christian Laettner going to the free throw line. Laettner, who has been with 5 teams in his 9-year career. Acquired from the Mavericks, as we mentioned, and in the 8-player deal, principal going to Dallas was Juwan Howard. Well, Want to remind you, as Leitner goes to the line, watch the drama of the NBA as Allen Iverson and the Philadelphia 76ers take on Steve Francis and the Houston Rockets. That's tomorrow night. Check the time, 9 p.m. Eastern on TNT.
Now, throughout his career, Christian Leitner, 9 years in this league, 15 points, 7 rebounds, a 48% field goal shooter, 82% on the line, and an excellent passer. He will give it up, and he'll make the play in traffic for you.
Nearly 3 minutes gone by, third.
Nice pass.
Walker to Anderson. Anderson comes out scolding here in this third quarter. He has 7 of his 9 points, including the 3, to give Boston a 7-point lead.
How about that pass? That was a great diagonal pass from Antoine Walker, all the way to the opposite corner.
6 assists for Walker with all the other things he does. Whitney for 3 in and out. And the Celtics trying to stretch their lead to 9. 31-year-old Kenny Anderson throws up the wild shot, and the holding foul called against Kenny Anderson, who was out all but 33 games last year.
Now, when this ball goes into the post right here to Walker, watch out as he, off that double team, how he catches Kenny Walker in the opposite, Kenny Anderson. Just keep an eye on it. See, they caught them in a double team and a rotation. That was just a great look.
Anderson, meanwhile, with 3 personals. Jordan. That's exactly right. And of course, you know, he's got that tendon problem with the finger, plus the tendonitis in the knee. So he hasn't been totally healthy yet. A lot of people fail to realize that. Doug Collins certainly aware. Open, Joe Johnson hitting the 3. So the number 10 pick from Arkansas now with 12 points and 2 from downtown.
Well, he's not bashful. He's definitely looking for that shot. And coming into this game, he's averaging 12 points, 58% from the field, and 50 in three-point shooting.
And the Celtics opening up their biggest lead of the game, 10 points over the Washington Wizards. We're always coming up with novel ideas, and we have a new feature we're going to use where it's called Hey Hubie, where a fan at each arena will ask you, Hubie Brown, a question, and you, in turn, will answer the question. Here's tonight's.
And we know can shoot it at 6'4". He's got to build the upper part of his body, but the coaching staff very happy with all 3 picks.
Hey Hubie, that's pretty good. Whitney trying to go back door. And the Celtic foul is against Tony Battie, his second. Kenny Anderson is the only player in the game with 3 personal fouls. The Celtics leading by 10 points. They led by 3 at the quarter and the 6 at the half. And looking very solid tonight.
Yeah, you like their talent, mainly because their 3 centers are healthy, and that's good. Battie, Blount, and Potapico.
We have not seen tonight.
That's correct, because you can, you basically you're trying to get away with only playing 2 guys.
Johnson with the lay-in. So Johnson not only does 14 points, he has 8 rebounds to go along with that. So backing up your comments from the Hey Hubie fan on the rookies of the Celtics. You saw Jordan before, looking for the foul and not getting it on his foray to the basket. Leitner out to Hamilton. Nearly 7 minutes gone by. Pick and roll. Leitner from Hamilton. Nicely done.
That's the first time that they've looked for the cutter. Anytime that they're coming off of the screen, the Celtics are jumping out and trying to trap the guy. The roll man has been open all night. That's the first time they've hit him for a pass.
Walker getting it down to Pierce. Pierce driving around Hamilton. Tries to draw the foul. And does not.
Bad shot.
And the Wizards coming up.
That's the first bad shot he's taken all night, Jake. That was forced. He was trying to draw the contact.
10-point lead for the Celtics. Wizards trying to narrow it. Wizards come in 1-2 on the road in the early season. Hamilton with a fake. Gets the ball back as the ball came out to him. Celtics did not protect the defensive glass well there. Jordan. Again, a flat jumper, and the rebound by Johnson. That's 9 for him. Walker was looking for the foul, but Nesby got a piece of it. And there is Johnson for 3. Rebound by Michael Jordan, who calls the play. So Jordan now is the point forward, so to speak, for the Wizards.
Well, they're giving you a different look. And this Paul Pierce is on him every possession.
And Johnson gets a hand on Hamilton's entry pass. And the Celtics come back. Anderson, hot this quarter. And his first miss of the third.
Washington right now, regroup. You got to slow down here right now. You've got to make a few things happen.
Jordan has a Leitner screen picked up by the taller Petit. Jordan goes around him and beats him to the basket.
Vintage Michael. Beautiful. Read that perfectly. As soon as he saw Petit step out there on that switch, he said, one more dribble, and then I'm turning the corner and taking him right to the rim.
Second layup tonight for Michael Jordan, who has 20 points. Double team again on Antoine Walker. Good pass out by Anderson. And Anderson up and under 2 defenders from Johnson. I tell you, Johnson is up his game in this third quarter, as has Kenny Anderson, and it's 10 again for Boston.
I like the fact tonight that Boston definitely unselfish stick, moving the basketball, finding the free guy. Now, I realize they have not shot a great percentage here tonight, but at least they've moved the ball into the open opportunity.
O'Brien, Celtics playing well as we take a look at Jordan's last time down.
Now watch, see, he sees the switch. I'm going to take it one more dribble. Now watch, I'm blowing right by this guy, taking him to the rim.
And right now the Celtics bring in Mark Blount at center and a new backcourt of Milt Palacio and Eric Strickland. 6 on the shot clock for the Wizards. The lead is 10. Jordan guarded by Pierce. Jordan in the lane, hitting the jumper. 22. Now you remember Pierce and Jordan went at it in the preseason, and they were jawing at each other. And at the end of that game, Michael Jordan says, I have already circled November 7th when we'll play again. And that's one of the few times Pierce has been guarded. Jordan, and a nice play by Walker for his 16th point.
Well, if you're a Boston post-up guy or taking it to the rim, you know that Washington does not have any shot blocking out there. So you're a fool to settle for a jump shot. Just take it to the glass.
And they don't have the big guys. Heidi White not playing tonight, going with the smaller lineup. Jordan defended well by Palacio, out to Nesby, air ball, but Leitner is underneath and will have the chance to convert a 3-point play. Christian Leitner with 16.
Very heady. Made that catch, beautiful ball fake. Now just watch as Christian, as he catches this air ball right here. Beautiful head fake, get the man up in the air, and now take it strong.
Courtney Alexander will give Michael Jordan a breather. So Jordan going out for the first time in this half. He has scored 22 points. But getting help tonight from Christian Leitner, who has a chance for his 17th point of the game to cut the Celtic lead to 7. And he does.
Well, we said in the first half, Jordan and Hamilton are going to get their points. What they need is Christian Leitner, and then off the bench, Courtney Alexander. 2 guys who can score. These 2 guys have got to become very consistent. And if they do, then with the return of Haywood Thomas and also Kwame Brown, they're going to have some interesting talent over here.
There is Whitney from Leitner. And the rebound by Pierce. 7-point lead. Michael Jordan on the bench with 22 points on 9 for 18 shooting. And the steal and the kick ball will go the other way. So the kick ball against the Wizards and a new clock for the Celtics.
You know what's interesting about that call, Dick? The point is that you have to deliberately kick the basketball. That ball was not deliberately kicked. That ball was a loose ball, and as Hamilton went to pick up the ball gets bopped out of there. Now, he didn't kick it for an advantage. You're going to see it right here. As he goes, he just goes, and it hits his foot, and now it's on the floor. That is not a deliberate kick. That should have been a free ball, and they would have had a 2-on-1 situation.
You saw Michael Jordan reacting just that way from the bench as Palacio misses, and Courtney Alexander trying to bring the Wizards to within 5 or better with 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Celtics have led virtually this entire game. Biggest lead was 12. Here is Nesby with the fake on Walker. Goes behind. Hamilton, 3-pointer. So Rip Hamilton hits his first three. He has 15 points, and the lead is down to 4.
They're right back in the action. Their pesky defense has done a nice job for them. First group and second group. Brought them back in both halves.
Palacio, another diagonal pass by Walker, and Palacio gets the basket and is fouled.
When you're coaching in a game like this, you're Doug Collins. See, that one was a dagger in the heart. Clock is down. You have the ball in the opposite quarter. Their point guard takes our guy off the dribble into the lane, and not only that, he turns the corner and gets an uncontested layup. Brutal. Michael Jordan has added to the 16 at halftime. Beautiful turnaround in the lane. Now he takes the tee right to the rim. Beautiful drive. And then this fadeaway in the lane. Nothing forced. Everything right on the money.
Here's Michael Jordan's numbers. 9 of 18 from the field. 4 for 5 from the line. 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Business as usual.
Absolutely. And I cannot underline it enough when I say that nothing is forced. You know, there is nothing out of desperation. He's in the flow of what they're doing. He's taking what the defense is giving him, and then if anyone else is open off the immediate double team, he's finding the people.
And he wants his teammates to be better. He wants to win. In fact, he even had some comments about Antoine Walker yesterday and said with all the great play and his great performance, he's got to make other people better. So he's even really trying to help guys on other teams with his thoughts. He's always trying to do that.
Well, Antoine Walker worked out with him all summer long. And we know that Antoine Walker last year had 6 assists per game. And tonight, he has just done a magnificent job in helping his teammates. And he already has 7 assists in this game.
Christian Laettner from the corner, and it's 68 to 64 as Laettner coming in with 19 points. 8 of 10 from the field under 2 minutes to go in the third. Joe Johnson back in for the Celtics. He's had a fine all-around game. And near double-double in points and rebounds. Here is Eric Strickland for 3.
That was a big one.
Eric Strickland. And the Celtics couldn't believe that he'd be available. But Strickland tonight, 10 points off the bench, including that 3.
He fits right in with this style of play. And he's going to be a nice contributor for them during the course of the season.
Going the same way, it'll be Wizards ball with 10 on the shot clock and 1.5 minutes remaining in the third. As Celtics leading by 7. They had a 12-point lead at one time, and the Wizards hanging in there. And they're trying to make a run with Michael Jordan on the bench in the waning minutes of this third quarter. Here is Hamilton over Blunt hitting. So Hamilton coming alive has 17 points, 11 since the first quarter.
No, that play was totally by design. That was a quick pass into Laettner. Laettner was to dribble over and set the screen because they want to switch so that Hamilton would free himself in the lane.
And Blunt with his second field goal. We have not seen Patappico, you said, but the Celtics very pleased with their committee of centers this year.
Well, Petit last year missed so many games due to the fact that he was injured, and Blount coming on, they picked him up as a free agent, has really developed, and they love his potential.
Alexander on the turnaround, and time remaining, nearly 40 seconds to go and 17 on the clock. Milt Palacio hitting the shot. How about Strickland and Palacio off the bench scoring 18 points?
Well, Palacio and Kenny Anderson have negated that tough first half where they struggled with the shot, only 3 for 12. This half, the 2 of them are on fire.
Strickland committing the foul. Pierce and Walker have taken only 3 shots this quarter. So Doug Collins has to like that, but others have stepped up. And you mentioned Kenny Anderson, Joe Johnson. They have a total of 16 here in the third.
Yeah, I like their weapons this year. I like the Celtic weapons. I like the fact that their centers are healthy. I like their ball movement. Pierce and Walker are definitely sharing the basketball. They have an excellent camaraderie out on the floor. Their defense is 100% better than a year ago. And then they are dangerous in the three-point game.
Whatever you want to do, boy, they look to criticize Walker and Pierce. That's a great 1-2 punch that you can depend on every game.
Well, anytime that you tell me that in the assist column that Walker is going to have right around 6. Pierce is going to have 2 to 3 a night. And then if they're going to shoot and score what they score, you know, what's the big complaint here? Well, they do take a couple of bad shots. Oh, no kidding. Who in this game does not force a couple of bad shots anytime that you are two guys who are taking 23 to 25 shots a game?
Nesby committing the foul, his third. And the difference of about 3 seconds between the shot clock and the game clock. 7-point Celtic lead. And Hamilton knocking it away. And it's going to be Wizards ball with plenty of time to get a basket before the end of this third. And a chance to come within 5. And Michael Jordan comes off the bench for that very reason. Nesby goes out, so Jordan, who has scored 22 tonight. Nesby starting tonight, but has not scored for the Wizards, going to the bench.
You're sending Michael down the floor. What you really want to do is go up the floor with the pass and then let him make this pick.
Jordan, good block. Walker got a piece of it. That'll do it. So Antoine Walker blocking Michael Jordan's shot. And so Walker closing in on a triple-double, has 16 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and a block on Jordan as time runs out. And after 3 quarters here at the Fleet Center in Boston, sold out tonight, the Celtics lead the Wizards 75 to 68. Celtics by 7 going into the 4th. Let's zero in on Michael Jordan's shot attempt so far tonight, Hubie.
Well, you can see on this shot chart, the range factor has not been there, but it has not been there for him all season. He's struggling right now at 39% coming into the game, but you can see in the deep areas, he's 2 for 6. But look at the damage from the foul line down, either in the corners or once he gets into the paint, he's shooting a beautiful percentage. Now, you like what he's doing because he's shooting a high percentage tonight. He's getting to the line. Now, we told you coming into the game, he's only attempted 6 foul shots a game. You're hoping that he can get that up to about 8 or 9.
Start of the 4th quarter. Antoine Walker, Paul Pierce, Mark Blunt, along with Kenny Anderson, and Eric Strickland, who played well off the bench, feeding Walker for the three-pointer. So Antoine Walker with 19, and the Celtics up again by 10. Teron Lue in the game with the Jordan, Christian Laettner, Courtney Alexander, and on the turnover, here's Walker going behind to Pierce. That would have been a spectacular play had it gone for Boston.
Right now, Washington has got to be very, very careful. You're 10 down. The passes have got to be right on the money. Stop trying to make, passes through a keyhole. If it isn't there, just rotate the ball in the opposite area.
6 on the shot clock. Popeye Jones in the Wizards lineup. And Christian Laettner now with 21 points in the game. And he has been kind of an enigma as a person over the years. But I think you know a certain side of him. And when we get a chance, tell us about Christian Laettner, things that people may not know about him. But meanwhile, Jones gets the rebound, and the lead is 7 for Boston.
Big possession right now. You know it's early in the quarter, but this is a big possession. You get one now, you get it back down to 6.
Here's Teron Lue firing it up, and Blunt getting the rebound.
That's the first time Teron has forced a shot. He's been very good tonight. 5 in the first half off the bench.
Ball knocked away. What about Christian Laettner? There's things you know about him.
Yeah, well,
camp
he came to the 5-star camp, the number 1 camp in the country back when he was a high school player at a private school in Buffalo. From a wealthy family. He has donated $1 million to that school. When he was at Duke, he came back to the 5-star camp as a coach every summer. Since he's been in the pros, he comes back to the 5-star camp, lives in the bunks, or, on the floor with the players. He coaches a team, he teaches a station, and he gives lectures. Now, this is the side of this guy that nobody knows. Now, that is a commitment to teaching, learning how to be a coach, living with young players at the high school level from all over the United States, sharing his experiences. No one talks about this guy.
No, they don't. And Pierce hitting their last jumper. But a 10-year veteran coming back to camp like that, and Leitner hitting a jumper now 10 of 12 from the field for 23 points. But a 10-year pro coming back, staying in the bunks, and still teaching the kids. That's terrific. So it's 80-72. The Celtics by 8. Strickland giving it up to Blunt over Leitner. And the rebound by diminutive Tyronn Lue at 6 feet tall. And the Wizards looking to make a run here. Their defense has been improved this year, no question about it. But tonight, they've given up 80 points in the early here in the fourth. Leitner,
he called for that. He called for that. He told Lue, come on, come this way, get the switch, and I'll pop back, because they continue to catch the two guys in the switch, not understanding whether they're trapping or switching.
Leitner's hit his last 7. Doug Collins saying he has to be emotionally involved to play well. He's answered that question tonight. Here is Pierce driving in. Jordan defense.
That was an offensive foul.
There, the foul is called.
That was a good call.
Yes.
Tony Brothers was all over that, because that was a vicious elbow. Keep an eye on this now. Now watch to the left of the screen. You're going to see the miss right here. Now watch as this ball is rebounded, and he just clears right there. Boom. Clears Lue back up on the shot.
Good call.
The referee, Brothers, right on that call.
Early in the fourth, it's a 6-point Boston lead. (80-74), the Celtics lead in the fourth quarter, and the patriarch of this great Boston Celtic franchise, 84-year-old Arnold Red Auerbach, who is the president. The Celtics, in 40 years with Red as general manager, never went more than 6 years without a world championship. Now it's been 6 years before they made the playoffs. Pretty good.
Yes, indeed. And like we said earlier, he affected so many of the players because of their style of play and their relentless fast breaking, and the defense, naturally, which was anchored by the greatest defensive player ever to play in Bill Russell, which allowed them to play the free-flowing game. But they were well-disciplined, very well coached. 25 guys became head coaches, and the list goes on about how many of them are in the Hall of Fame.
And the streak goes on for Christian Leitner, who now has 27 points, has hit 8 in a row to cut the Celtic lead to 4. And now it's a serious game for Boston to hold on.
Well, Boston has got to make up their mind here. Are they going to change that coverage on that screen up high, which is opening him up in this last 8 minutes? You've got to say to yourself right now, what we are doing is not working because he's wide open. We've got to change this, how we're going to cover that screen and roll. Or screen and spot up.
Yes, and there are two different things, as we know. And did I
Basketball 101 at Syracuse, huh? I didn't see that. All right.
Did you mention Eton Thomas? All right, so the turnover by Antoine Walker, and now the Wizards down by 4. Nearly 4 minutes elapsed here in the fourth quarter. Tyronn Lue driving in. Rebound, pop by Jones, and he's fouled. So Jones, showing why he leads the Wizards in rebounding coming into this game, will shoot a pair.
Popeye Jones is one of the hard workers. As long as this guy is healthy, you know you're going to get a lunch pail game from him night in and night out. You give him 20 minutes, he's going to get you close to double-figure boards, and he'll just out-muscle on that offensive. Not going to force any shots.
Petit with his 4th personal foul. Want to tell you what's coming up on Turner Sports tomorrow on TNT. And check out the time, 9 p.m. start. Special time as the Sixers go against Houston. Next Tuesday at 8 on TBS. Toronto at Sacramento. That'll be a good one. And next Wednesday at 8 o'clock, Orlando Magic at Phoenix at 8 p.m. on TNT. 2-point lead. So the 12-point lead. The Celtics have maintained the edge, but now the Wizards making a run. 7 on the shot clock. Kenny Anderson has it deflected by Leitner, I believe, got a piece of it. And now the Wizards in position to at least take the lead. They could hit a 3-2 lead, and a basket would tie it up there on an 8-0 run.
Here's the high screen spot up.
And the spot up man is Leitner. Has hit 8 in a row and finally misses. But guess who comes swooping down with the offensive rebound? Michael Jordan, 22, has yet to score in the fourth quarter. fires away and ties the game at 80. And is fouled, and the Wizards can take the lead.
Let me tell you, this is just a great move. Not only does he take the rookie down, watch the bump with the right forearm. Now keep an eye as he comes down in here now. Watch that right forearm right there. There was the bump that got him back. And then you always tell players, do not foul a jump shooter.
And Jordan makes the free throw to give the Washington Wizards an 81-80 lead. And Jordan now with 25 points. A 1-point lead for Washington with 7:16 remaining in the fourth. Quarter, we know about Michael Jordan's 25, putting Washington in front, but the leading scorer, Christian Laettner, having an outstanding, his season's high by far, 27-point game.
But you like what he's doing because he's playing within the offense. They continue to give him the jump shot. I don't know how many he has to make in a row before they say you must put the ball down on the floor. Now you're loving this because he has struggled. His high for the year, only 10. His high in his career, 37. And a lot of people forget this guy was in the All-Star game in '97.
Former Duke Blue Devil. So now the Celtics trailing by 1. Pierce coming off the screen. And a loose ball foul called against the Wizards.
Yeah, they catch Laettner with a push-off. Good call.
Laettner's second personal foul. Doug Collins checking the fouls. Each team has 2 team fouls right now. And Pierce, I don't know why the Celtics have squandered that lead. Pierce 1 for 6 here in the second half, getting another chance, but Jordan's defending. Step back by Pierce, now 1 for 7. Walker with the offensive rebound and the basket in the foul. If one doesn't get you, the other will.
Well, you see, there is an example of what they can do to you when they're working. His size on the offensive board. See, he's in there with 3 small guys. Now just watch as he comes into your picture right over the back. And see, up over the top. And this is where they hurt them in the first half with their 10 offensive boards. Throughout the second half, the Wizards have been doing a better job holding the Celtics to 1 shot. But also, I feel that the Celtics are not working hard. They're in cruise control once they get up by 10 points.
22 for Walker, and a 2-point Celtic lead. Jordan working against Pierce, draws the foul, and will shoot 2. Well, the Wizards head coach Doug Collins making a decision to not go with Jahidi White as the center and going small tonight, and he knew that he would pay for it on the offensive glass, and that was an example right there, but can't dispute being 2 points down and a chance to tie it up now with Jordan.
Anytime that you coach a young team like the Washington Wizards are, you just want a chance in the last 6 minutes to be close to potentially steal a game. And like we keep saying, this is their 4th road game, and it's their 5th game. A true indication of how they're going to be will be the next 2 weeks when they play the 5 home games, and then hopefully when they get the 3 big guys back up front.
Jordan 7 of 8 from the field, and we're tied at 83. Under 6.5 to go in the fourth. Petit from Pierce. That was a neat pass by Paul Pierce.
Beautiful pass, smart foul by Lou. Force Petit to go to the foul line and make the foul shots. Do not give him a layup.
Tony Petit, a good free throw shooter at 73% so far this year. Petit tonight has not scored. He has 4 personal fouls. And he breaks into the column and gives the Celtics the 1-point lead. Both teams 2-2 coming into the game, and both teams coming off losses on the road. Wizards losing at Detroit soundly on Sunday night, and the Celtics losing in Milwaukee Saturday by 6. Free throws by Petit, and the Celtics by 2, 85-83. Jordan has 27, so does Christian Laettner. They've been the 2 big guns. Hamilton 19 as the 3rd scorer for the Wizards tonight. Pierce defending Jordan. Fall away, he hits. 29 for Jordan. His season's high is 31.
He's loving that spot. He continues to take Pierce to that spot. Pierce is nervous that he's going to take him to the basket. He's catching him back, and then Michael is throwing the fadeaway on you. Nothing you can do about it.
Hey, Michael circled this date. He didn't do it by accident. Anderson from the corner. And Anderson now with 13 points, 11 here in the second half. Celtics again by 2. This has been an interesting game between two clubs with a lot of youth, a couple of veterans leading the way, and both hopeful of perhaps getting close to the playoffs. Jordan from the perimeter, but Popeye Jones gets the rebound.
That's it. Back it out now. Set up. Look at the bench. Doug Collins made a call. They're coming right back to this high screen and spot up.
The high screen set by Leitner. The double team leaving Leitner open. Didn't have control of the ball. Plenty of time on the shot clock. And here is Alexander. Jordan blocked by Pierce. Jordan has been blocked by both Walker and Pierce tonight. Here is Anderson, and he'll set it up.
Yes, good move. You didn't have it. You didn't like your numbers. Don't force anything. Let's get back to power basketball with Pierce and Walker inside.
And here is Pierce, and Jordan is all over him. This is a good duel, and he knocks it away. Jordan gets the steal. Here is Lou, lays it in, and ties the score again, this time at 87.
The crowd is loving it. With Jimmy O'Brien not very happy. He thought his man got fouled. Right now, Boston Celtics have got to say, hey, we're at home. Let's get back to our power game and our game plan.
This crowd enthused at Jordan. When he came out from warm-ups, they went wild. They know what it means. He's done it here in Boston before. Wild 3 by Pierce. Offensive rebound by Petit, who cleans it up. And the Celtics, every time the Wizards tie it, the Celtics take the lead again.
Yeah, once again, they hurt him on that offensive board. See, with Petit in there, you know, at his size, and along with Walker and Johnson, they've been pounding and pounding, and they're wearing down the Washington frontline players, basically Christian Leitner.
Boston Gardens sell out. They don't sell out all that much to see Michael Jordan come back. He has delivered. Leitner has, and we got a great battle going down the wire.
Yeah, I like the tempo. Both teams got over the nervousness in the first half of forcing up so many outside shots and missing. Both teams are not high percentage shooting teams, but in the second half, we're seeing excellent sets, people getting into familiar areas. They're shooting a high percentage. Michael Jordan is treating the crowd to a vintage type of a game, and then Christian Leitner has been spectacular.
The 1-2 punch of Jordan and Leitner have outscored the 1-2 punch of Walker and Pierce 56-36. Jordan over Pierce. He's got it. Michael Jordan has equaled his season's high 31 with a line drive jumper to tie the game. So Jordan, Leitner, and Hamilton have 77 of the 89 points. And Walker comes back, and now the Stars are taking over.
Well, it's the way it should be. And what I like, as Jimmy O'Brien said, I'm going right to my main man on the post. And when they went to him, he's attacking the rim. Leitner is tired. He's played a ton of minutes. No shot blocking out on the floor right now. So if you're a post-up guy with strength, you're taking it to the glass.
Antoine Walker now with 25 in the game, and the Celtics leading by 3. 3:35 remaining in regulation. Celtics have led most of the way. The Wizards had a lead by a point. Jordan now isolated against Pierce, diving in, changing hands, gets the offensive rebound. No basket traveling called against Michael Jordan.
Yeah, they said he caught his own shot without the ball hitting the rim.
Yeah, right.
Okay? They're saying that the ball was an air ball. See, as this shot goes up, you're going to see right here, it goes up. I did not catch any part of the rim, and he caught his own ball and then took it out. Good call.
And here's Kenny Anderson driving in the foul. And the Wizards over the limit. And Anderson will shoot. Celtics still have one foul to give. And Kenny Anderson, who had a sprained ankle, out for the rest of the year last February, various injuries. Missed all but 33 games of the season. Was kicked in the toe the other day, but comes out playing anyway and playing well tonight. Going to the line for the first time tonight and has 14.
Well, you're hoping right now that he'll finally get back to where he was like in '94 when he played in the All-Star game. You're looking for Kenny Anderson, an established guy who has scored 15 points throughout his career. He's got an average of 7 assists a game. But what you're looking for him is to be healthy, and then you're looking for him to be a better defender at the point. Now, Jimmy O'Brien feels that he's more dedicated to the defense this year, and he's doing a good job.
That he's playing the best defense of his career, says Jim O'Brien, who took over for Rick Pitino, and the team settled down, played .500 ball in the last 48 games that he coached. So it's 94-89. Michael Jordan, the open man is Hamilton, off his foot, out of bounds, and it's last touch by the Celtics.
They get a break there. They really got a break because they had nothing. Michael had nothing on the dribble. He was looking for Hamilton out on the wing.
Hamilton into the game, replacing Lou. So Hamilton working against Anderson has size on him. And here is Jordan with a pump fake block. Pierce blocks it and gives it up to Walker, who gives it up to Johnson. And that's a big basket in this game.
Yeah, it's good timeout right now by Doug Collins. You had the shot clock running down. Michael was trying to get it up. Great defensive effort. And then it escalates into a 2-on-1 that you must finish. Now, keep an eye on this now. He had two guys on him so that he could not get to the middle. Beautiful anticipation by Pierce, and then he gets rid of the ball. But how about this pass? See Antoine Walker dribbling with his head up so that he could see the 2-on-1, and then they finish.
And Joe Johnson with 16 points. So Michael Jordan has had 2 shots blocked by Paul Pierce, 1 by Walker, and the Celtics lead by 7. And the Celtics with 1 foul to give, and they have 2 timeouts and a 20. The Wizards 1 timeout and a 20. Pierce and Jordan down the stretch of this game.
Well, this has been a major battle because Jordan, along with Leitner, they bring Washington back from 10 down. But now the game is on the line. Paul Pierce is really working hard. You can see he knocks this away, disrupts Jordan's game, no doubt about it. And this is the key play in this game right here. It's a great block, and then the ability to hit Walker with the pass, then Walker up ahead, and they score on the fast break. Excellent team play.
Chris Whitney in the game now at the point with Popeye Jones, Hamilton, Leitner, and Michael Jordan. Jordan trying to post up now against Pierce.
Well, they're fronting him. They're not going to give him the pass.
Leitner hitting the shot from outside. Christian Leitner now with 29 points. Jordan with 31. That's a big 1-2 punch tonight, and it's a 5-point Celtic.
Now, Washington, they need to stop right now. They've got to hold them in these next 2 possessions.
2 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the 4th. Here is the double team on Walker. Johnson gives it up to Pierce. Jordan stays with him. 4 on the shot clock. The key turnaround air ball, but they'll call the foul. As Nolan Fine calls the foul, and it'll be a push-off foul against the Celtics, and it may be against Petit. But we'll check. It is against Walker, and that'll be 3 on Antoine Walker.
It's an offensive foul of the Celtics.
That was the last foul. Boston had a foul to give. So right now, any foul that we have will be in the penalty at both ends of the floor.
It was an offensive foul. And they changed it to a loose ball foul.
It was definitely a loose ball foul because he pushed him right in the back out of bounds.
2 minutes remaining in regulation. Knocked away.
Great steal
as Antoine Walker, and it's Kenny Anderson on the lay-in to give the Celtics a 7-point lead. Anderson has 15 of his 17 points in the second half. He's come up big tonight.
Antoine Walker is the one that caused that deflection to get out on the fast break.
And the Celtics, Paul Pierce will call a timeout after Leitner drove to the basket and the loose ball.
Now keep an eye right here. You're going to see it. In combination there of Kenny Anderson, Antoine Walker, and then Anderson saying, hey, I'm faking you and I'm taking you right to the rim.
Minute 39 on the clock in the 4th. Celtics 98, Wizards 91. Celtics lead the Wizards by 7 late in the 4th. Right now, let's take a look at TNT Saturday night movie Rush Hour. His season's high, Christian Leitner, 29 points. By far his best outing of the year. Richard Hamilton, 19 for the Wizards, who trail, as Antoine Walker with 25 points. Kenny Anderson with 17.
In the last minute and a half, The Boston Celtics defense has been outstanding. But not only the shot block, but also the deflection, which have taken the Wizards right out of their offensive tempo and no shot attempts.
Walker on the perimeter, guarded by Popeye Jones, and Pierce defended by Jordan. Here is Pierce and Jordan with 7 on the shot clock and traveling calls. So Jordan, I'll tell you, that's where the headiness of Michael Jordan pays off.
Yeah, well, right now, see, it's the story of the established player getting the non-call. Paul Pierce is saying he's smacking me with the forearm and he's knocking me around. I should be getting fouled.
And Jordan's smiling.
That's right.
And looking to look back. This is a head game going on between those two. Here is Jordan passing out to Leighton. 8 on the clock. Whitney hitting the three.
Big.
So Chris Whitney, who went in hitting 63% from three-point range, and it's a 4-point Celtic lead.
Yeah, Whitney's been quiet tonight, but we know that he has been an excellent spot-up guy for the Wizards before tonight's game.
10 on the shot clock and under a minute remaining. There you see the game clock as Walker turns around, hits the big shot with the defender in his face.
Big time move. That's a great score, giving you one of his better moves, reading the defense, and then coming up with that shot right in your face. Now here he is, he faces up, he has nothing now. Once he goes, now watch the spin. As he comes out of there with the spin, he's coming right up on you. Just a great offensive move.
And Popeye Jones was all over him. So 27 points for Antoine Walker. Timeout. Boston by 6. Coming up on Inside the NBA, Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Charles Barkley are in the studio in Atlanta. Highlights from around the league. Charles Barkley goes swimming, and a look back at Magic's announcement, all coming up on the Inside the NBA presented by Hyundai.
Now you're coming out of the huddle, you're down 6. It's not necessary to shoot a 3 unless you are wide open. You have right at 45 plus seconds to go here. You score quickly here, the game is a 4-point game.
Antoine Walker with 27. His season's high is 29, and still a rebound and an assist shy of a triple-double. Both teams shooting 49% after a slow start. Here is Whitney with a fake, and the 3, front rim, and Joe Johnson gets the rebound, and the rookie from Arkansas has 10 off the board.
Now there's 2 ways of thought here. With 45 seconds to go, you come out of it and you attempt a 3 and you miss. When you miss, you foul. Now when you foul, the game is either going to stay at 6 or it's going to go to 7 or 8. But if you come out of that huddle and you go and you penetrate and you go to the basket and you make a score, or you get fouled and you get to the line, now you're 4 and you still have 30 some odd seconds to go. 2 ways of looking at it. If you get a wide open 3, it's always in your favor to take the wide open 3.
Right, but you're rolling the dice if you take the 3.
There you go. And that was Force. And a great shooter. He's shooting 62% right now for the season.
Antoine Walker matching his season's high of 29 points. Celtic fans start to make their way to the exits with an 8-point lead. Michael Jordan slicing his way to the hoop. And he is fouled. And the foul is on Tony Battie, his 5th, and Jordan will go to the line. So Michael Jordan, if he makes one of these free throws, will establish his season's high. He is 12 for 26 from the field. And now 7 of 9 from the line. He still has 31. The Wizards will come in with Nesby and Lou as Leitner and Joe and Popeye Jones go out. Nesby started tonight and has not scored.
For his career, Michael Jordan, 84% foul shooting. You like to see him get back into the groove, get those shot attempts up like tonight.
40 minutes of play tonight for Michael Jordan, coming off the 22-minute effort in the back-to-back game in Detroit, and the immediate foul is made on Antoine Walker. So Jordan today with a 32-point effort, season's high for him.
As soon as you make your foul shots, the Wizards, inbound pass, you go for the steal. You don't get the steal, you foul immediately. Because you force a player like Walker, who is a 66% foul shooter, to make the foul shot.
And Walker makes the first one. And the Celtics and open up a 9-point lead. Eric Strickland will come in, replacing Tony Petit. So Strickland, a newcomer to the Celtics roster, coming off the bench to score 10 tonight.
Well, they're matching up right now because Washington is so small out on the floor right now with all three-point shooters that Jimmy O'Brien is matching up small with small. Stay with the three-point guys. You have Lou and Whitney in the game.
Here's Tyronn Lue in traffic. Here is Nesby for three. And the rebound by Walker. And the Celtics are going to capture this game and defeat Michael Jordan and the Washington Wizards. And that'll do it. The final score, the Boston Celtics 104, the Washington Wizards 95. And for Anton Walker and Michael Jordan, season's highs. Jordan with 32 points, Walker with 31, 10 rebounds, and just missed the triple-double with 9 assists. So the Celtics will go to 3-2 on the year, and the Wizards, who go home for 5 straight games, drop.
I just told him I'm one up. You know, regardless of what he did tonight, you know, he had his usual 30, you know, but we got the win.
1 up, 3 more to go.
Yep.
All right, thanks a lot, Paul. All right, let's go back to you, Dick.
All right, Cheryl, and talk about Joe Johnson, a double-double tonight. He certainly was the third weapon, 16 points and 10 rebounds. Kenny Anderson with 17, most of them in the second half. Our thanks to our producer, Jay Hoover, our director, Bill McCoy, Jeff Harris, and Gregson Frampton. As usual, Marty Aronoff is our statistician. So once again, our final score, the Boston Celtics 104 and the Washington Wizards 95. So for Hubie Brown, Cheryl Miller, and the rest of our TBS crew, I'm Dick Stockton, and we'll send you to Inside the NBA with Ernie Johnson in Atlanta after this break. So long, everybody.